Good day. The state television company of Western Armenia represents all the most important events of these days. Today's broadcast, Sons of Western Armenia, Tigran Abazian, former International Criminal Court prosecutor to prepare report on situation in Artsakh. Baku believes that almost all residents of Armenia and Artsakh are subject to the same accusation and arrest as the kidnapped Vagiv Khachatryan. The format has changed. Moscow proposes a meeting in Yevkala. Western proposals awaited. Blinken talks to Aliyev about urgent need for free transit on Berdzo Road. Completely unofficial book with Raphael Lemkin's autobiography published. August 1 is Aram Mnatsakanyan's Memorial Day. Tigran Abazian, who died in the 44-day Artsakh war, was in first grade. Tigran was drafted into the army in January 2020. He took part in the intense battles of Hadrut and Jarakan, which were occupied by the enemy. In one of the interviews, Tigran's father, Vanik Abazian, mentioned that he had gone to the Russian Federation to work abroad, and after a while he also took Tigran with him. However, after the April 2016 war, the boy decided to return to his native country and serve in the Armenian army. He was constantly singing in the bathroom. My brother and I are fighting. I said, Tigran, don't sing that song, but he would. He used to say, you know, I'm going to join the army. The war's going to start. I don't know what kind of premonition that was, recounts his mother, Eleonora Vanyans, in her memoirs. Tigran Abazian received the rank of lieutenant on the battlefield. We gave the soldier the rank of lieutenant because we felt he was capable of it. They saw that he was capable of making the right decisions, said one of the Tigran's commanders in a conversation with Tigran's father. Tigran was wounded in the back and later surrounded by several boys. They hid near the village of Vang. Tigran and two others came out of hiding to find a way out. He said to the boys, I see a car, let's go and see. We can come and get you. But they fell into the hands of Yeshma and they haven't seen him since, the mother recounts. According to Armen Press, the press officer of the President of the Republic of Artsakh, Lusine Avanesian, stated this in the conversation with Artsakh Press, noting that Moreno Ocampo had sent a letter of reply to the President of Artsakh in which he specifically wrote, It will be an honor for me to analyze the problem and present my conclusion to you. I will prepare a full report analyzing the facts and the law. My assessment will be impartial and pro bono. To reach a conclusion on the execution of genocide, I must analyze the intentions of Azerbaijan's leaders based on the facts. To protect my accuracy and impartiality, I will write to the President of Azerbaijan, giving him the opportunity to clarify his position directly. Given the urgency of the problem, including the risk of starvation for 120,000 Armenians, I plan to publish my report within 7 days. Please report on new circumstances that may affect the situation for analysis. The government of Western Armenia has repeatedly referred to the policy of occupation and genocide pursued by the Baku authorities, which is a direct parallel to Turkey's state policy. Within the ACHR, the case against Baku's Tsarist and tyrannical policy by Armenak Abrahamian, president of Western Armenia, as the mandated representative of the Shushi people has already been accepted. We sincerely hope that the former prosecutor of the International Criminal Court will keep his promise and pro bono for the public good conduct a truly impartial and legal analysis which will correspond to the correct assessment and evaluation of the crimes committed by Baku. Mr. Moreno Ocampo is well aware Turkey's impunity has led to the emergence of policies like the one in Baku. Former MP Arman Tatoyan wrote, Isn't it clear that for Azerbaijan almost all residents of Armenia and Artsakh carry the same charge and are subject to arrest as Vagiv Khachatryan, 68, from Artsakh, who was kidnapped yesterday from the Hakkari bridge. In this case, even a person who was transported to Armenia for treatment by the car of the International Committee of the Red Cross has been kidnapped. These are the goods of the recognition of Azerbaijani territories and therefore of their jurisdiction. We used to warn of these problems only with facts. How are each of us, our families, going to protect ourselves from these troubles and crimes? Where are those who blame media terrorism and false pacifists who bury Azerbaijan's violations for the sake of being elected? Is there nothing to say in these situations? The government of Western Armenia is well aware of Baku's false and irresponsible statements. According to the Red Cross Charter, the Red Cross could not undertake the transfer of the 6 citizens Vagiv Khachatryan from Artsakh to Yerevan without prior agreement. But what what is Baku's promise worth? Not only does Baku fail to respect international law and accepted norms, but having no value system based on its own culture that would make it respect its own word, it easily advances down the path of deceit and lies, spreading false news. But all will be revealed and punished sooner or later. Tigran Petrosyan, head of the Anti-Crisis Council under the Artsakh presidency, made some important statements. Baku is trying to force us to agree to a meeting in Baku or Yevkla. We'll know very well what will happen there. There will certainly be no negotiations. In this context, the EU and the USA are trying to organize a meeting in a third country. Firstly, the meeting was due to take place on August 1st in Sofia between non-governmental organizations. Russia, aware of this, decided to intervene and organize the meeting of foreign ministers in Moscow on July 25, after which Lavrov referred to us as a national minority, which was unacceptable and showed that Russia's real policy has changed. And on August 1st in Bratislava, the meeting between Stepanakert and Baku was to take place with US mediation. But yesterday, Azerbaijan refused the meeting without giving any reason. The mediators' representatives will arrive in Yerevan the day after tomorrow. There will be discussions, and I will present the West proposals. Moscow is proposing to go to Yevkla, and against the backdrop of the kidnapping of members of the National Liberation Movement, Moscow's proposal looks like a parody. We are now waiting for the West proposals, and then we will decide everything. The government of Western Armenia is well aware of what the West has promised. Israel or East still believed in the intervention of foreign powers, which was a lesson neither for the Berlin Congress nor for the Armenian delegates in Lausanne, such as the people of Artsakh should speak from the point of view of the owner, not the claimant. The Armenian people originate from the entire Armenian highlands and should not forget this. Our strength, which gives rise to rights, is our origin and the state of Western Armenia, recognized by more than 25 states that are now members of the UN. We must never forget this, because we stand firmly on this land, and as President Armenak Abrahamian mentioned recently, one of our legs is our autochthony and the other is the state. In a telephone conversation with Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken stressed the urgent need for free movement on the Berzo Road, as well as discussing alternative routes for humanitarian supplies. We learned this from the US State Department press office on July 30. Secretary of State Antony Blinken had a conversation with Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev, expressing deep concern about the humanitarian situation in Artsakh. Secretary Blinken emphasized the urgent need for free transit of commercial, humanitarian and private vehicles through the Berzo Road and stressed the need for compromise on alternative routes so that humanitarian supplies reach the people of Artsakh, the message stated. The Secretary of State also stressed that all parties should maintain positive progress in the peace negotiations. Secretary Blinken also posted a separate message on his Twitter page about the phone conversation with Aliyev. Don Alim Frinz has prepared the autobiographical notes of Raphael Lemkin, who worked hard for the adoption of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide at the United Nations and co-authored the convention after many years of efforts. The book, entitled Completely Unofficial, was published by the Belgian publishing house. Attila Tuigan wrote an introductory article about the book, where he specifically says, a young man named Soghomon Tehlerian living in Berlin was burning with the fire of revenge as a witness of the genocide. 1921 in March, he managed to approach Talyat Pasha from behind, who was taking cover with the Germans, and fired a pistol, saying, "It's for my family." He was immediately arrested by the German police and brought to trial. Tehlerian's murder of Talyat Pasha attracts the attention of Raphael Lemkin, a student at Lviv University. He believed that in this case the victim should be judged, not the killer. His professor, however, had a different opinion. Referring to state sovereignty, he said that Armenians were Ottoman subjects and that the state could do whatever it wanted, including kill them. Its job is to kill them. It's not our business. If you interfere, it will be a violation of the law. Therefore, when you interfere in the internal affairs of a country, you violate the sovereignty of that country. Lemkin is surprised by this statement. It's a crime for Tehlerian to kill people, but isn't it a crime for a tyrant to kill over 1 million people? That's a load of crap. Sovereignty cannot be considered the right to kill millions of innocent people. Actually, Initially, they focused on one point: there was no international law protecting Armenians. Years passed, and the same Lemkin, who also served as a consultant to the U.S. military department during World War II, in addition to being the father of the term genocide, which defines the deliberate and systematic extermination of population, and pioneer of the concept of preventing and punishing genocide, became one of the leading international jurists of the 20th century as the man who single-handedly warned the world community about the problem. September 13, 2022 redoubled the grief that was only revealed 2 years later. The Azerbaijani gangs' attacks were stopped at the cost of many heroes' lives. One of these heroes was Aram, courageous, unbreakable, patriotic, and determined. It was with this determination that he went forward to die for the good of the homeland and died a hero. Aram Mnatsakanyan was born on August 1, 2002 in the village of Vaghashen, Gegharkunik region, into the family of Edik and Naira Mnatsakanyan. He began wrestling at the age of 12. He has been practicing the sport for 8 years, taking part in numerous competitions and achieving excellent results. From 2008 to 2020, he studied at Vaghashen High School. The remaining school memoirs and episodes about Aram were nothing but positive, kind, friendly, always smiling and compassionate. Aram was loved by all. Patriotism was instilled in Aram from childhood. The former and the paternal copy and great name of Khachik Mnatsakanyan, the grandfather's father. Despite the fact that he had the opportunity to serve abroad, he always attached great importance to selfless service to the homeland. Aram was enrolled for military service in February 2021 in the Goris military unit with great enthusiasm and fighting spirit. His family and friends said he never complained about the service. He took all the difficulties with great honor. He spoke to his friends on the eve of the war, but on the night of September 12 to 13, he lost contact with Aram. The battalion where Aram served was ordered to retreat as soon as the war began. However, Aram refused to leave his battle body and ran after him to the positions, rushing to the end and falling to a hero's death. It is said that everyone dies in the positions where Aram fought. The news of Aram's death was confirmed on September 21. Only 5 months left to go home, but Aram has fallen, bringing his homeland even closer. Thank you for your time and attention. Now the musical part, the Armenian folk song.
Գաթագու իմ սև տայի փաթագու ջերմակ չախե